Colonel Anthony William Durnford of the Royal Engineers was amongst the last to fall at Isandlwana. And on that desperate hot afternoon, standing in the front line of the Imbonambi regiment facing him, was a warrior called Shezi. Shezi went on, like many of his peers, to become an agricultural worker and worked for the Buntting family on the top of the Kuteni mountain, which was not far from Nkandla in central Zululand. In 1907, the Buntting family were born a son, little George Buntting, and when that little boy was 6 years of age, he was sent off to boarding school in Durban. The trip to catch the train involved a 200-kilometre horse ride to the train at Glencoe before that long train ride down to Durban. And who would ever have imagined that the Buntting family would entrust their boy to none other than Shezi for that arduous horse ride? And they never had a single moment to doubt the safety of their boy, George, in the hand of old Shezi. And at Isandlwana, they'd boil up a billy of tea and make a little meal. And Shezi would regale this young boy with a story of what had happened that day. And eventually, when Buntting was asked to go to sleep, he said, "Sleep? How could I sleep? These were the most exciting days of my life." And Shezi would lie down behind me, and I could hear the old wheezy rattle of his chest. He had tuberculosis. And the mountain rose up like a ship out of the starlit plain. And when Buntting came home from school, he'd have his head strained out of the window on the train, looking for his old friend. And there he was with a spare horse, and they would begin their epic ride back for the Kuteni. You're probably wondering why I share this with you. It's interesting to note that Buntting became the greatest white authority on the Zulu people in the Zulu War. Heads of state would come and sit around his humble table to hear the stories learned from the mouths of Zulus who'd fought that hot afternoon. And isn't it wonderful to consider that this country continues to throw out these chapters of affection, respect and emotion between people of colour that we take for granted and that astound the rest of the world.